Well, welcome to this edition of Cooking on the Bayou tonight. And a little something, I guess, for maybe Doug and Sandy Odette, since they did such a good job replicating the enchilada recipe. This is something for after Thanksgiving when you've got your leftover mashed potatoes. And what I've already got on here is some a little bit of sachet sprinkled on there, along with some more salt and pepper, since these already have been seasoned. But I'm going to do something different with my mashed potatoes for a change. It's really delicious, and I learned this recipe from the Cowboy chef, Chef Rollins, I believe is Cowboy Rollins, but they're called potato bombs. And so you start off with this is about 3 cups of leftover mashed potatoes from uh, Thanksgiving. And if you don't have fresh mashed potatoes, you can just make up some instant potatoes. But what you want to do is get it where you can form these into some balls like a dough that you can work with. So I'm adding flour to these. And just a side note, you never want to add raw flour to mashed potatoes to try to get them to stiffen or thicken up. Uh, it will ruin them immediately. These are going to be cooked again, so we can add something to them so that they get a kind of a no, actually what you want is when it'll hang from the spoon and not fall, then that means that they're the right consistency. So depending on, again, that was a cup of flour that I had in there. I barely used about a half a cup on these. So for this recipe, you're going to need a few things. Actually, quite a few things. It's a real pain in the ass to make, but it's worth the effort. You need some sour cream. You need some grated cheese, and this is already grated, but I still go back and then chop that up even finer so that smaller pieces, because we're going to need to take all these little goodies we have here and we're going to be loading them up in our potato bomb. So you're going to use about a teaspoon of each of these in each potato bomb. So if they're big long strands, they're going to be sticking out and not working out like what we want. So yeah, when you've got your store bought, especially your store bought cheese, that's probably more than I'm going to need for this, but it won't go to waste because it is sharp cheddar, sharp zoomed in it, sharp cheddar cheese. So there we have that. You're also going to want to use your green onions, and I've already mostly the tops. You want mainly your tops, what you're using on these, chopped very fine. And I already have fresh chives that I grow out in the back in a pot. So I chopped up a bunch of those and added to this. And again, you want that really fine and chopped up so that it'll be, like I said, it'll work together in there. And then you want to have your bacon. And I really like, so the best bacon you can get is from Walmart. The real bacon pieces there, I mean, it's a half the price of the name brand, so to speak, bacons. And I really like it's some chunkier pieces and a very good bacon. And again, the same thing. If you've got any bigger pieces, you want to kind of cut it down so that you've got very fine stuff that you're putting in all of these. So this is already pretty crumbled up. So like I said, it's gonna all be going in together kind of in layers, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a moment. So that's all good and ready to go. So we will set that to the side for the moment and prepare our, that seems somehow insufficient. Nice bit of wax paper for the job site there. And you want to have plenty of flour when you're doing this. So we get a little flour pile going over to the side here. And you basically want to keep your hands pretty well floured. And then you start by taking a potato ball, and you want to make it probably about the size of a tennis ball, maybe a little bit smaller than a tennis ball, I guess. And you're going to take that down and form a nice little cavity in it, kind of equidistant all the way around the sides. And then on each one of those, you are going to add the ingredients. So we start with a nice amount of cheese. We add, like I said, about a teaspoon each of these of bacon. It's hard not to put more bacon in there. I'm telling you. Oh, I kicked the camera there, but I moved over our trays. So there's our bacon. Now is our cheese, and we have our chives, or our green onion that we top off in there. We finished off with another topper of cheese. Kind of pack it all down in there good where it mixes up around, and then you want to pooch them all together at the top, and you want to pull a little bit of potato dough out of your remaining amount in there. Usually you do all these cups together at one time, and then you form them up. But there you go. You pinch it, you round it off, and now that is right there. Woo! So wrong way. So much for the draw there. We have a loaded bomb right there. That thing could go off at any time, and we're not even close to done with it yet. So there's still more to go with this. So we're gonna set that over to the side, and we'll show working one more here, because I'm gonna see, maybe did I make that one a little, that looks a little large. This one probably might be just a hair smaller. You don't want to make them too big, because when you're going to fry them, you're also going to be rolling them in one of our other ingredients here, which is the panko breadcrumbs. So we've got us as Cowboy Chef would say, we've got us a rooster bullet here mixed up there for to brush these down with. We're going to be brushing them down with the egg, and then coating them with the panko, and then deep frying them. So like I said, we still have a ways to go on reaching our objective here. But you can see how that potato dough, that's just enough flour in there to let it, you couldn't do that with mashed potatoes normally. So oh, well, you're probably going, well, Bayou Go guy, where does the sour cream come in? I thought this was going to, well, there you go. That's what we get from not paying attention. So here we go. Yeah. That's a key. I was thinking, man, this is going along a lot smoother than I remember what I've done last time. But it's that's what we're missing, is we have to add just a tip's worth of sour cream in those little jewels, because that's what you got to worry about. Part of what if you don't seal them up good, will want to bleed out, is the sour cream. Now we'll go ahead and put another layer of cheese over that just for good measure. Since we reloaded, you'd always want to cap it with cheese, pack that down in there so it's kind of packed in with the sour cream. Pinch it back together. I think our hole should still seal up itself this time because we've got extra dough or potato dough already in there. So, well, there you go. I could have just stopped this. We've got plenty of them and restarted, but we like to keep it real here, and you know, that's that's the thing. Whenever you don't do something for a long time, I should have watched the video again. Is what I should have done. I'm just doing this from memory from watching him, but I'll leave a link in the description on this video for uh, watching the master do these. So, all right, well, let's do one more clip on it since I haven't done one right yet to demonstrate it. So it's like, Tim, Bayou, if you're gonna do it, at least show us how to do it right. Damn, it's your recipe. Well, no, it's not mine. It's your video. The Cowboy chef's recipe. He just had a. I'm not sure how severe it was. I believe he had a heart attack here recently. So I think he was still doing around Cowboy Chef Rollins on the YouTube. Like I said, I'll leave a link. But yeah, he's been doing videos for a long time. He has some cool. He's a character. He does the dance. These get him dancing. He does the dance over these. It's that goodness. He talks about putting that goodness. That's what we're doing now. When you start adding all this stuff here, your onion and your bacons, your cheeses, and then that again, just that nice. You want to try to keep it in a nice little scoop. Like I said, it's about maybe a uh, half a teaspoon of sour cream on there, and then we top it off with the rest of our cheese. So, like I said, I'm gonna still mean I need twice that much cheese made up for these. So I think last time I didn't have as much potato dough, and I had a lot of this stuff cut up and left over in my preparations before I did it. So, well, here is where we kick the recipe up a notch now because we've got our panko breadcrumbs in the pan. We're going to take our bombs that are armed and ready. We're going to take some of our, like I said, we got us a scrambled up rooster bullet here, and we are just going to wipe that down with a little egg wash, just enough to give those pankos something to grab onto. Oh, crap. Well, we're going to be working off the. It's all right. I got plenty of bullets and blow off. You want to always get off your excess flours on that. Wax paper is a wonder. So once you get a good coating of egg on your thing, you're going to set it in your panko and just kind of fluff that on there. You don't really want to press it in. You just want to coat it, shake off the excess, and set it to the side. And that one now is truly armed and ready to go. Then you just repeat the process. Right now we've got the deep fryer warming up to 325 to 350 degrees. It's set right in between on those. And Cowboy Chef says he likes to use the canola oil. I fry everything pretty much in Crisco in the deep fryer, Crisco shortening. So that's what we're going with. And like I said, I was about to have time to change it out because I only use it for frying fresh cut potatoes, so it lasts pretty well. All right, we have our grease up to temperature. We are going to place our bomb on the spoon because we do not want it to go off going into the oil. Actually, this is a little deeper than it needs to be for these, but that's all right. You only need about enough to cover half of your bomb. So we put those in there. We're going to let those start cooking, and we will be putting the flip on them here as they brown up. That's pretty much it. It's all that preparation that takes the time on these things for sure. Like I said, once they are done, they have a pretty damn nice. They're enjoyable. I have to say they're worth the effort. Yes. So there you go, Doug and Sandy. We got them underway. If y'all want to try these, I know, like I said, it's a pretty complicated recipe as far as having a lot of ingredients you got to deal with and work with. But it's like I said, we'll see. Y'all see whenever we're done here. So, all right, these have been cooking for about 2.5 minutes or so. And I turned it up a little bit. It's between the 350 and 4 now, but it's closer to the 350 side. But there you want to roll it. That's where your rupture is going to come in when you flip that over. If you're going to get one that's going to bleed out on you. And I've had, as my first ones, I had a couple of them that seeped out, but just because I did not keep it even whenever you're forming the ball, you want to try to keep it centered right in the middle of your dough ball, of your potato ball, so that like I said, it doesn't one side isn't thinner, and it'll want to breach that thinner wall. But that's already looking real nice. Those are a nice golden brown, and they're pretty hard on the top as far as crispy. We're going to turn it back down into between the 350 and 325. I think it was doing good better on that setting. So it's going to run for probably another minute and a half, and we're going to flip it over and check and see. It really doesn't need to crisp anymore on this first side. Sometimes you want to, if you turn them sooner, they're not quite that well done. You want to flip them over and give them a chance to crisp back up when you turn them, but we'll see whenever I flip these. Let's see if there's anything coming out of it yet before we flip it back. I don't even want to mess with it and risk it. We'll get back to it in a second. All right, it's time to give them a flip. And I'm already if you see stuff like that showing up on it, that means that you've got something's ruptured in. You're losing. Yeah. Oh, look, we're hollowed out. That one's been hollowed out. My end ruptured on it. All right, let's get it scooped out because it's got stuff all in our damn ruining our grease. Damn, I never had one that did that. Oh, we got another one that's trying to. You can see right there, it popped its cap. These may just be, I might have made these too big. They were looking beautiful, huh? There's one. There we go. We got 1 out of 3 that is not. He's kind of got some of the other guy's stuff on him, but he has not ruptured. He is intact. We roll him out all the way around. Look at there. Yeah, there you go. Because the other one's falling apart here on the stove. So yeah, I've got a lot of frying up mess in my grease. Again, this is, like I said, this will ruin your grease because if you, like I said, I don't do it enough to. Oh, I wasn't showing you. Yeah, it'll ruin your grease. So I'm going to get the rest of these made up and see if I can pack them a little better on this next. I think that shell is just a little. Looks like it's just a little too thin there. See how it's hollow? You can see some of our goodness in there spread around. still there, hanging the cheese and some sour cream, but it's just not exactly what we're looking for on these others. But that one right there is our gem. And this other one, how much did it go? We cracked it open, but it's still holding pretty good. So we'll let those drain for a moment. We'll be back. So, all right, here is our moment of truth. And I don't know if you can hear it over that is some crispy, crunchy, actually very puffy. And you cut into it there and you can see there is yeah, I think I've just made these a little too large even for these, but that is all that goodness in there. And mm-hmm. Yeah, that is tasty when they stay together. Like I said, all that flour that was mixed in with the potato just cooked into the dough. So yeah, just check that out. It makes for a pretty nice explosion of flavor in your mouth. Man, just that little bit of Satry's. You can taste that in there with it too. And the onion, and of course the creaminess of the potato. But like I said, they are a lot of trouble to make. And here's our other one that, let's see how it looks on the inside here since we didn't breach all the way through. Again, that looks pretty tasty. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not as pretty. Well, on round 2, I am making them a little bit smaller. Actually, that one I made almost the same size. I intended to make them smaller. Start with some cheese. Throw in our onion. Generous amount of excuse me, bacon. A nice dab of sour cream. Want to kind of work it down in there a little bit if you can. Add some cheese on top of that. Actually, this one looks like it's overloaded now. Try to pull it together and not make it too thin. Add our little cluster of potato on top to enough to seal it up. Actually, that doesn't look very much smaller, does it? And then roll it very gently, handle it. And set it down. And then once again, coat it with the egg wash. And then put it in the panko. There we go. Another one ready to go. We'll get the rest of these ready and try it again. Well, our second batch came out a little bit better. It did not rupture. and they're a little more evenly dispersed in the filling there. So very delicious and tender and crispy at the same time. So a fun treat to eat, a tough one to make, but it's like I said, it's worth the effort. So I hope you enjoyed this little bout in the kitchen, and we'll see you the next time.